Hello. Are you sad and lonely, sitting there watching this on your phone this Valentine's Day evening? Well, don't be. Get off that loser's Instagram page and come watch us on this Valentine's advice column at the Aerial View for Flyer News. I'm here with so many lovely guests here today. Please introduce yourself, starting from over there, your name and your relationship status.
Okay, I'm Lila, and I am single.
I am Dustin, and I am in a relationship.
I'm Anel, and I'm single.
I'm Ellie, and I'm in a relationship.
I am Jerome, and I am also in a relationship.
Thank you, Jerome, for being our switcher here today. He's doing a lovely job. Everyone, golf claps for him. Yes, yes, yes. And we've got a little Google form. We've got some submissions that we're going to talk through, give some advice, discuss some different things. I know we've got some different relationship statuses here. So it should be a good time. Guys, if you submitted something and you want to hear our opinion, stick around. So the first question, let's see. We've got a lot of submissions. I don't know where to start, Dustin. Where should I start? I'll have you take a look.
Oh, boy. All right, let's see.
We know some of the people who submitted these things. So.
Well, I feel like that first one is just...
That's controversial, that first one.
But it's like the most common question when it comes to Valentine's Day
Yeah.
debates, I feel like.
Oh, boy.
So maybe we should start with that.
Start with
a hot topic.
A hot topic. Okay, hot take on this first one, everybody. On a first date, should the guy pay or should the bill be split? Jerry, I love that you cut to you for that.
I can speak to this.
Please start.
Could also speak to this. But I think as a guy, it's definitely been assumed that that's going to happen. But I also think what really matters is who asked who. I think that something else that's really important is hey, if the girl approaches me and asks me out, do I feel that I need to pay? And I think that there's definitely part of it where it's I feel like I want to pay. That's just kind of how I've grown up, and I've seen my dad pay for my mom, and all of that kind of stuff. So I think that I think the bigger thing to me is who asks who. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say it also just depends. I think because I know there's some circumstances especially if it's a really expensive date, say, then maybe it makes more sense to kind of split it up. But I know a lot of people like that tradition. I don't know about you guys.
I think it depends on the situation, for sure. I think who asked is definitely a factor. I think it also depends on the person. Some people don't like it when the guy pays by himself, all by himself.
100%.
So it depends on who you're with, who asked. I think it definitely depends on where you go to. I mean, especially if somebody orders a salad and then the other person orders a steak with a baked potato.
That was exactly my first date. It was he ordered a steak and I ordered a $12 salad.
Yeah, so I think that also makes a difference. But I think there's a lot of factors that go into play there.
Yeah. So hopefully that answered your question. Price matters. Who asked who matters. And if you don't have the funds, then maybe go on a really chill.
Maybe
go
get
on a
coffee
walk
or go to a park.
Go get coffee. Go to a park.
Yeah.
This next submission we have. Let's see. What are we thinking? There's a lot of situationship stuff going on here. I hate that we're in this season.
I think we should go down to the second one here. I think that sounds interesting.
That one is cute. Okay. So, this next submission. I like this guy in my class, and I think we are both shy people. How do I show I like him without being too obvious? If he doesn't like me back, I don't want to be too blunt about it. If he does like me, though, how could I make him feel like he has a shot?
Follow him on Instagram. I feel like if you don't already, follow him on Instagram because I feel like that shows you're thinking about him, but that's not a super weird thing to do anyway,
Yeah.
At least just a basic first step.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I think liking a story on Instagram is another good way.
True.
I was going to say, I feel like if there was a girl in a class and she just randomly followed me on Instagram.
You don't like it?
It would if I was into her, I would follow her back for sure. I think that, like, as a guy, like, if I saw a girl that I thought was cute in my class who followed me, I'd follow her back. And, like, the liking the story thing, that's, like, such a classic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think that you can never go wrong with that. So
Yeah.
I think
No,
that's
one of my
weird.
roommates, that happens to him all the time. Well, not all the time, but when it happens to him, he kicks his feet.
Too many people, yeah.
It's like he gets really excited. So I think at least following, especially if you haven't talked to them before and you've just been in class with them, if you follow them, they're going to think, I wonder what's going on here.
My thought is like if you talk to them about something class related, like that's like a good opener. Like if that's how you know each other, that's like you have it set. And then if you can carry a conversation outside of class, that's great. Like that's a good basis. If you can't carry a conversation outside of your coursework, you shouldn't be together.
like
Yeah.
the simple message like, hey, I need your number so I could talk to you about this after class. Like, oh, that's like a really easy segue to be like, hey, like, whatever it is, for math class, I didn't know this question in math, could you help me with this? Or, just text me about it if you don't know the homework answers or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue into like seeing if someone is actually like into you or not. This feels like a very like underclassman question because I feel like when you're like a freshman or something and like you have those class crushes and stuff.
Very
I've-
scared to talk.
I've had those before. I don't know about anyone else, but yeah, follow them, I guess, on socials. And then you can tell like if you're trying to make conversation outside of class, but they're not reciprocating, then they're probably not interested. I feel like it's like that simple.
I agree.
Oh, this is rough. I have this situationship who I have ended it with 4 times now.
Oh, I know who this is. Oh, I know who submitted this one.
4 times?
Yeah.
I'm so
It's
curious
rough.
now, Dustin.
Oh, it's
gosh.
Meg.
Wow.
Okay, name drop, I guess.
We're name dropping.
Everybody to know.
I'll talk to Meg. I don't know if she wanted that revealed.
I think she put her name in there. I'm pretty sure.
She did not put
She
it.
talked about it.
Yeah, we can edit that.
We'll edit it.
Okay.
I'll ask her.
More work for now.
It's 4 times now. And he keeps texting me and
Yeah. Now you know who
he
it is.
keeps
Yeah.
texting me and asked me to hang out and do things. How do I tell him it's over for real this time because he doesn't believe me? First of all, not believing in you feels like a red flag. It's like,
She ended it 4 times and he's still not getting the hint.
Well, hold on. I'm
And
confused.
he's still like trying to.
Well, like, okay, how does it end 4 times? Like, are we saying that it ended 4
Well,
times? Like,
there's a
she's-
lot to unpack here.
Well, did she say like 4 different times?
As someone
I'm
who's
not
up
into
on the
you?
lore, there's a lot to unpack here.
Well, my question is, when she says she ended it 4 times, did she like, was there each time like she was like, okay, we're done, and then go out with him again, or like whatever, hook up with him again, or was it like she has said no 4 times and he keeps asking?
I think it's
Option A.
Okay, so I think we've got to lay down the law here, girl.
Yeah,
We gotta
yeah, block.
be serious
Block.
about.
That's my
ending it.
immediate thought was immediately like blocking them because that's like a hard like no for
If
sure.
you've
block them
given a
quickly.
hard no, and then 4 times it wasn't
A hard no. It
you
was,
should block
yeah.
them.
Of course, he thinks he has a chance.
That's
Yeah.
a little bit concerning behavior too for like her to be like no 4 times, like reject him 4 times, and him to be like,
But like maybe, right?
I still have a chance. No, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I think you just got to be serious this last time and just it's like, no, I'm done. If that's what you want, but also know what you want.
Yeah, no, definitely pursue some different options. Maybe, I mean, if it sounds like you keep going back to this person or you're stuck on this person, definitely just cut them off. Take some free time, for sure.
I feel like if he's not hearing her, or it sounds like she hasn't had like a firm no, but like she can set that no for herself too. Like if he tries to text her back, like just don't even respond. Literally open and just if you want to like interact that much, you could just keep leaving him unopened. Like that's another way
Yeah.
of being like back off.
Like you don't
buddy.
owe a response if
No,
you don't
exactly.
want to. It's just stop
So, like,
engaging.
he needs to get that boundary, but also she needs to as well.
She needs to set it.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I just say right now, I'm so excited for her to watch this.
I'm sorry,
These
Queen.
are
I
all
hope you don't think we're
things-
harsh.
No, these are all things that everyone has told her already.
I think I think she'll get the
Okay,
message.
so now my message is take their advice, girl. Like, yeah, you got it. I believe in you.
She'll get the message for sure. Sounds like we got that one. Case closed. This next one made me laugh out loud just because of how harsh it is.
Oh no.
I'm laughing now. All right. My GF is broke and has no job, no car, and is headed nowhere. Should I break up with her?
Yes.
That's
Oh.
that's how they worded this question.
I
So-
think the most concerning part is she's headed nowhere. Like being
Yeah.
broke and not having a car,
Yeah.
sometimes that's the situation. But
I mean, do you really love her?
I know.
like,
As a guy, I just don't understand how you can like. I mean, I keep saying that as a guy, you know, but it's like, how can you say like if you think that your girlfriend, somebody that you probably maybe are saying that you love, has no direction in life, is broke. You're saying these things that. Does that mean you really love her, or are you saying that you love her because you've been conditioned to saying "I love you" and like that's what like, you know, kind of society tells you that you're supposed to say to somebody that you've been dating for a while? If you love somebody, it doesn't matter, you know, what their financial status is, and you will think that they're going to go somewhere. Like
Yeah.
if they don't have a direction, part of being in a relationship is to give them a direction.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I totally agree.
I'd say maybe not that exactly, but I'd say you have that faith in them that
Yeah.
like regardless of their situation, because you love them so much, you're like you motivate them and you're like their cheerleader there in life. Like you're like, okay, like
100%.
I'm gonna like be there for you, whatever you go through, support you, blah blah. But if you're the way they worded this is
Yeah, if you're able to say it like that,
like it sounds like you kind of don't really like them as much anymore if you're saying she's headed nowhere.
yeah, if you're able to say it like that, even anonymously, I
Right.
feel like
Yeah.
it might be time
yeah,
to.
it doesn't sound
cut
like they
things
don't
off.
really like their girlfriend that much, which probably a sign to move on. But back to like, if she has no direction, it's not his job to give her.
That's true.
There's a difference between like supporting someone and maybe like helping someone who's feeling a little lost, and then like feeling like a parent to them. And I feel like
Yeah, I can.
Pan Delilah.
I've been there. Because I feel like Ellie can speak to this as my roommate, like, and my friend. I feel like myself, I'm a very driven person, but I've dated someone who I don't think he knew what he wanted and where he wanted to go. And as much as like you want to be there for someone and help them like find what fuels their passion and get them on that road, like not like like make the road for them and show them the road, but kind of like give them a little push. Like be like, hey, maybe try something new. That I feel like is understandable in a relationship, but trying to like create their future, that's not your job.
Yeah.
And you can only do so much to help someone before you're like, you got to do it yourself.
I think nudging is good.
Yeah.
But fully taking it upon yourself as your job in the relationship to influence them one way or another as to what they should be doing, especially for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
That's not up to you. That's not your job, especially in college. I don't think
No.
that's anything
Yeah,
that somebody should have to do.
I think as well, like, I agree with like what you guys are saying now too, because like I think that like there's like a certain point where you can do it, like giving them like little hints and everything. That's understandable, but like I have definitely seen friends who have gotten dragged down from their girlfriends or significant others. I've definitely had some friends who have like they like they started taking themselves less seriously because their significant other was not the best person to be hanging out with. And that can like really wear on like not just them, but like your friend group as a whole. And like, you know, it's really like, it was really freeing. Like I had a friend from back home, I'm not going to say any names, like you guys. But when one of my friends finally split from his girlfriend, it was like so nice to like have him back. Like it literally
Yeah.
felt like he like came back from the dead. Like he was like so much more happy and like everything. And it was like, I mean, we were telling him that it was like this was not a good relationship for him. But he just didn't believe us, and he was like, nah, it's fine. But
Yeah.
so
Well, that's an important part of getting together in a relationship is like aligning your different lifestyles together. Like if you have certain goals and a future for yourself and the person you're with doesn't really match that. Not to say like you need to change your whole life for a single person. That's toxic, obviously. But if you know like there's certain things in their lifestyle that you don't like or you are uncomfortable with in any way, then it's probably important to have that conversation and be like, hey, like I'm feeling really weighed down by this, or like I don't feel like I'm like the relationship is progressing at all. So definitely have those conversations if you feel like you're weighed down by this person, which this is what it sounds like. They feel like they're weighed down. So yeah, I hope you figure that situation out, whoever you are. Our next one, we're going to do a little bit of a lighter one. I don't even know where to start with this one. Are frat boys capable of love? And I'm going to look I'm going to look to you, Jerry, for this one. Straight at you. Are frat boys capable of love?
As somebody who is not in a frat,
Actually, yeah, we've got two different frat boys here.
are you saying that I am a frat boy? I am not in a
I'm saying, Jerry,
fraternity.
you give the frat vibe, and Dustin is in an actual frat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you saying, that I don't give an actual frat vibe?
You don't want to give a frat.
Well, I know. I'm aware.
So that sounds
Sorry, Jimmy.
like
I'm in the
Wow.
frat that's not a real frat, and you're not in a frat, but you are in a frat.
so I give frat vibes, but all right. Well, wow, I don't know how to take that. I might have to have the question asked again. But are frat boys capable of love? As somebody who's never like really like understood Greek life, I think that's always been, people might not like that, but I've just never understood like the whole like dang for friends. And I know that's not always true, but it seems a little true to me sometimes. I just think that like there's definitely a stereotype with frat boys that is a stereotype because it's happened so often. Like the guys who, Snapchat 1,000 girls and, talk to every girl that's ever walked and, has no morals for themselves. And I'm really upset that you think that that's how I am.
I'm kidding.
No, you're not. But I think that like there are definitely guys in frats who I know, like friends from back home, who have moved on to live in to go to frats at other schools. Like one of my good friends, he's at a frat at OSU, and he's been with his girlfriend for 3 years now. I think they recently, have been together for 3 years. And, he's so, loyal to her, never would do anything against her. And, like, she's such an awesome girlfriend. And, like, I love, like, whenever I'm at OSU, like, he's, just such a super nice guy. And I think that, like, some guys would be, but, trying to decipher and find out who is, that quality of a guy is definitely difficult because, I think that, well, hey, I don't know. I guess I'm a guy.
I think it depends, I would say, on the person, maybe not even the frat itself, because frat guys do have frat guys do have that vibe in general, that like vibe to them where like, I don't know, maybe they'll be disloyal, but I think it just depends on the person. Like I have a frat guy next to me right now. You've been in a relationship for a long time now, right? Wait, a long time?
Well,
Question mark?
it was official in April of last year. So
That's
Okay.
a long time.
yeah.
That's a long time for sure. But you've been in a relationship, so
Yeah,
You're capable of
I
love.
would say, I hope so. I would say, like you said, it depends on the person. If there's like a specific guy that this person is referring to, I don't know, but just in general, if you're interested in a frat guy and you want to play it safe, you probably know whether he gives frat guy vibes or not.
yeah.
That's why I'm upset that you said I give frat guy vibes. I don't like this.
That was a jest. It was a jest. You're not even in a frat. I know that.
I wouldn't join one either. No offense to frat guys. I have plenty of friends,
But I think
I think.
I think if you want to play it safe, then you'd probably be better not going after that guy.
Yeah.
But I don't think that every frat guy is like that. There are plenty of people in my fraternity, granted, not a regular fraternity. We do music, so it's not like, I mean, we
Super
party,
bro-y.
but it's
You
not
party.
like super, yeah, it's not super bro-y. And we we focus more on like having a common goal.
Yeah.
And like we all really like music and we all want to do music, so that's what we're there for. Well, most frats are not like that. Most frats are, we all like to drink beer, so we're going to drink beer together and pay to do it. So
Maybe that's why I get the vibes.
Yeah, maybe that might be why I got that vibe from you, Jay.
I like
But
to have a good time. What's wrong with that?
nothing's wrong with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, if we're talking about the like kind of douchey guy,
Yeah.
that classic, you're like, oh, like that's a frat guy. Whether or not he's in a frat doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
Capable of love? Sure, possibly. Maybe not now. Worthy of your love and time and attention? No. If he, like, yeah, the guy that's Snapchatting 1,000 different girls, once you're aware of that, stop. Stop. He's not going to choose you.
Right.
Like, and maybe he will. Maybe that does work out, but I just feel like time and time again, I'm thinking of a specific person.
Who?
A roommate last year. And like, but yeah, because once she figured all that out, it's like, okay, no, because he's not worthy of any time of hers, and you should and respect yourself enough to know that.
Yeah.
I also think this goes the other way too. I think
That's true.
I
Like
think
a
this
girl
goes
who
for
plays
both
guy.
sexes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
anybody. It doesn't matter what sex they prescribe themselves to. If they are texting hundreds, if not thousands, of people every day, it's not worth your time. It's not worth your effort. Find somebody who actually is going to care about you.
Yeah. Well, I love the way that it's worded. Like, are frat boys capable of love? As if it's like frat guys are like some like soulless creature or something. Like, are they like people in general? I don't know. I think they're capable of love. I think you've just got to scout it out for yourself and figure out whether they're worthy of love. Like you said, Ellie. I think that's a really good point.
I think some of them also just aren't looking for love
Right.
at this point
That's
in their
true.
life. Like, if your goal to join a frat is like get drunk and like, I don't know, shoulder check my brother, like, awesome, have a good time with that, go. But then I think once you're out of college, like, I think people's goals kind of change. Like, when you're out of a college environment, like, granted, like, my brothers are all frat brothers, and one of them has like a really cute love story. Granted, he was in law school at this point, so like not an actual frat brother. But it's also like some people aren't here, like love and relationships are a great addition to college. That's not what people are here for,
That's
usually. And maybe that's just my experience, though. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in now, we're researching Applebee's Dollaritas, which is really important to us, really near and dear.
Probably important to the audience members too.
Very
Oh,
important.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Do they
high
have the,
profile reporting here.
Do they have that one drink with like the shark attack, or is that Chili's?
That's Outback.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want that one so
Because they have the
Even
koala
better.
one. They've
They
got
have
a
a koala
crocodile one. Yeah,
You have all your options.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I want to get that one so bad.
Maggie
like I love sharks.
got
Do you think you can keep the shark?
crocodile one.
You do keep the shark. You do.
That's awesome. Great news.
The crocodile one looks good too.
Yeah,
That one.
I forget what it's called, but it's something clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Crikey, crocodile.
Thank you, Lila.
Well, they do
You're
have
welcome.
they do have their what is this? I don't know when they have
It
it.
doesn't look like it.
Do you remember- When do they have it?
Is Dollarita like? Is it $1?
It's
think
$1.
so.
Can you
Oh,
believe?
returns
Probably an
this
awful- Is it
May.
Oh,
Big.
huge.
So in May,
May.
is
So
when
what you're
we'll
saying
get
is
What?
May 1st.
post graduation, we're just going straight
Yeah.
to the.
Yeah, right after
I'm sorry.
graduation.
Oh yeah.
oh,
May
gosh.
11th, Applebee's is. They're gonna.
There we go.
I'm walking out of the ceremony, getting in my car. and going to Applebee's.
Where's
sounds like a
where's
plan.
the closest Applebee's?
Is there some in Ohio?
There's one
Yeah.
in
Probably
Kettering.
Beaver Creek. Oh, Kettering, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I see him on my drive-in.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
We'll get back to the question.
topic.
Sorry about that. Our next question. Is Applebee's or Chili's a date?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
In this economy,
Can we also throw in Olive Garden too?
sure.
As,
Well,
as,
no.
as that's a place that I
personally, I'm Olive Garden's op. I don't like Olive Garden. Now,
Whoa.
that's not to say that I don't think it's a date spot. I think any restaurant can be a date spot. Almost anywhere can be a date.
Yeah.
Unless it's the first date and then your home does not count.
You know what? Valid.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like the location depends on who you're with
Yeah.
and their personality.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
if I go to Chili's with someone and their like personality is the same as cardboard, it's gonna be kind of like dissatisfactory. But if we're going to Chili's and they're funny, that's probably gonna be like the best first date I've ever had.
Like I had a date somewhat recently when I was back home where I went, me and my girlfriend went to Olive Garden, like dressed up nice, just for fun. Because what else do you do when,
Yeah.
we were bored in, the Midwest winter.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're going to
There's
go
nothing you can do
frolicking in the
Other than
fields.
walk around Walmart.
No, you can't sit in the parking lot. You
Yeah.
don't want to waste gas. You don't want
Yep.
to, car battery to die or anything. So you're just sitting there. And you're like, you know what we should do? Go to Olive Garden and dress up really nice. So,
Aw.
we dressed up really nice to go to Olive Garden.
That's cute.
That's lovely. Yeah.
Did you
In
have a
this
good time?
economy.
Yeah. Was that a good time?
Oh, it was great. I got so many breadsticks, and I had food to go. I had food for the next day or two because I got the $6 to go box or whatever it is. That's
Beautiful.
it's great. It was great.
Yeah. I would definitely say, concluding this, that in this economy, any restaurant is a date spot for sure. Especially Applebee's. I have fond memories of the mozzarella sticks at Applebee's, just specifically the mozzarella sticks for some reason. Beautiful thing. Catch us all after graduation drinking those Dollaritas.
Now, this is slightly on topic because we're talking about first dates. Do you think the movie theater is an acceptable first date spot?
I think it's definitely a choice for a first date. But I think the point of the first date is to kind of get to know the person. So if all you're doing is going to the movies, then you're not really getting to know the person, and then it's hard to kind of initiate a second date because then you're like, well, all you've done is watch a movie together. You haven't
Yeah.
learned anything about the person.
I also think it depends on the movie too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
it-
have a story for this.
Oh, good.
once
Well,
you're
no,
finished.
you are more than welcome
Okay.
to go.
So, my girlfriend's sister went on a first date with somebody. First of all, she didn't know this was a first date.
Been there.
She didn't know it was a date.
Oh, that's,
Yikes.
Yeah, I think it was a
That's
friend
nice.
from high school. Not totally sure. They went to see Nosferatu.
Wait, what is that?
It's like a
If you
gothic
don't know,
vampire.
yeah.
it is a story about a very horny vampire.
Yeah. That might.
And it's not PG.
No. Wow.
You said horny vampire. I didn't think it was PJ.
That I was gonna say, maybe it would be bad if it was like a Star Wars movie. That might be, too nerdy. But wow, that's a step up. I was thinking if it was the reboot of the Lion King live action, okay, that could be kind of cute. Whatever. As long as there's something maybe followed or before, if you got dinner before and then it's the movies, then it's a little bit more acceptable.
Yeah.
But it's also different too. Is it the first date? Are you gonna sit there and just maybe try to put your arm around her? Is that too much? You obviously got to see that kind of stuff too. But
Yeah.
I think that first date, maybe coffee or just somewhere out bright lights, so you can talk more. Not the dim and
Yeah.
mood lighting, I guess.
Yeah, see, I think movie theater for a first date, for most people at least, is probably a little too intimate.
Yes, I would say
What
that
are
too.
you doing in a movie theater that's intimate?
Well, I mean, it's dark and
it's
the
the-
hand
it's
around
the-
the
it's the
shoulder thing,
mood.
When
in
Dustin goes
romance
to the movie
movies.
theaters, he's making moves. Only moves.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying some people might be uncomfortable
Yeah.
by being forced to sit next to somebody, and there's been lots of movies where the guy puts his arm around the girl at the movie theater.
It's an old cliche.
Yeah, so there might be some sort of expectation that something like that is going to happen, and some people might not like that.
I was gonna ask, when did she find out that this was a date?
I
After or
think it
before?
was after.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yikes.
Going into it, she didn't know. I don't think.
I think that's better then.
Yeah.
Oh, is it though? is
I think I would have an easier time sitting through the movie if I didn't think it was a first date.
Exactly.
Than if I thought it was a first
If you
date.
knew it was a
Okay,
first
yeah, I
date
guess that's
before,
fair.
then it just feels like a car crash happening in slow motion, where you're like, you can't like
escape.
back out now, and they've already bought the tickets.
You're just gonna sit in the
You're
bathroom
just
for
gonna-
3 hours.
Yeah, you're just gonna sit there like, oh my god, awful.
Get up to get your popcorn like 3 times. You know,
Yeah.
you keep refilling it, and it's only halfway gone. Just anything.
So it's
to
like
get
a
out of the way.
3-hour movie too.
Oh,
You're
it's
in it for the
long.
long
It's
haul.
3 hours long.
I'm pretty sure.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can watch it this Valentine's Day if you want.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, good Valentine's Day movie. Paddington 3 came out today.
Oh,
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
I
That
do
actually
actually
is
love
nice.
the Paddington.
Paddington
movies.
3
So
with
cute.
the Dollaritas. That's a date. That's a date.
we're giving you the best advice here.
Oh yeah.
All right. To close us out, let's see here. We've got one more response. This is a long one. Okay. How do I know if he loves me as much as I love him? I know he is the one for me because of how special he makes me feel and how full I feel around him. But I want to make sure he knows how much he means to me and feels it too. You're making a face, Jerry. What do you think?
I think that knowing you love somebody, not being able to, 100% confirm or deny that, you love somebody as much as somebody else is always hard to show. I think, like, with my girlfriend, I'm definitely I feel that, I'm trying to put in as much effort as I can. And I definitely feel that, like, my current relationship is definitely different than my last, and I think that it's for the better. I think that, like, I've been doing things that I definitely never saw myself doing before. Like going out of the way to, like, even something as simple as, like, I got her flowers for Valentine's Day, even though we're long distance, and I get her flowers once a month. So
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then, like, even something as simple as, like the little things that, like, I might not have picked up in, like, last relationships, but, like, something that she says she might like this, even though if it's like a little knick-knack, the next time I see her, it might, I might have it in my car in the passenger seat when I'm picking her up to go somewhere. And, like, little things like that where it's like, I pick up on the things like, oh, what flowers she likes, and then, like, what places she likes, what brands. And even if it's, like, not materialistic, it's something that's really important. So, like, when you love somebody and, like, worried about, like, them not loving you the same way that you love them, I think you also have to think about it in the way that they show love. I think that, like, my love language might be different than my girlfriend's love language, but we both understand that. And I think that that's why we've grown so much together, is because, like, communication. So I think that, like, that's probably the best answer to the question is communication. And so I know that this was my girlfriend, and I know that she was trying to be nice and funny. But yes, I do love you, and I do love you more, and you can't say anything back about it. So I win, and I think that, like, showing love can always be different, whether it's, flowers for Valentine's Day, or even something as simple as whatever's coming in the mail, because the mail has been slow. But other things like that are always going to be important for other people, and just, like, figuring out through communication.
Jerry, that was so beautiful. Can we just take a moment?
I'm
to
like
pause?
emotional.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
So your girlfriend asked this question? Like, she submitted?
Yes.
Okay, I was about to give this girl some hardcore advice. I was like, girl, don't you... This is a hot take. Maybe this could be... What are your thoughts? I don't think the girl should say I love you first. I feel like
That is a hot take.
it's my one thing. It's my one thing.
I can give you respond with what happened with us is
boy.
well, it's not bad. We definitely both knew that we wanted to say it, but we both didn't want to say it first. And so we kind of substituted other things for saying I love you. So, like, it started out with, like, I really like you, I really like you a lot, and then it moved on to, like, oh, I like the way that, you like stuff in this, moving on. And then eventually, before summer, we said it to each other, like the last time I was seeing her.
But did you say it first?
I did. So if that does answer your question in the way that you asked. But, yeah, so I did say it first.
Right. That is so sweet. We're just like reveling in that moment right now.
Yeah.
I don't
sorry
really
to
have
get
much
deep.
to say because he said everything that I was going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I think communication is definitely the biggest thing with any relationship. And I really agree with the whole love language thing. Everybody loves differently. And it's hard when two people are together and you both have different ways that you show love, because you can both love each other a lot, but it might not seem that way to either person or one or the other because it's not in the way that they love. So you really have to know how your partner shows their love and at least acknowledge that. And I think both people can try to, at least a little bit show their love in the way that the other person shows their love. But it doesn't need to be only like that. I think everybody should be able to love the way they want to love.
And like for me, like, like I picked up very quick that like my girlfriend likes flowers. So that's like another reason why it's like, okay, I want to go over at the top. I don't want to just be, like a last relationship, kind of thing where it's like, oh, she mentioned one time, oh, I didn't get flowers, blah, blah, blah. And, that was like my cue. I was like, oh, well, I'm going to start doing it because I want to make sure that she knows that I care about her, that she thinks I'm special because I know she is to me. So I think that like that's something that I made pretty clear to her. So even though the USPS has let me down with my note, but
It's okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure she gets the gesture. That was a beautiful transition.
Yeah, I did not know I did that. Oops. There you go.
That was a nice transition.
Thank you.
I want to get the ladies' opinion on this too, because have you guys ever like gone through this? I know in my last very recent relationship, we definitely had discussions like that about like how to show that we love each other. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I can go first because it's a little bit more hefty. In my last relationship, we had this problem, and eventually I think it's not the sole reason, but it's part of why we broke up, is that I loved him and he loved me, but we do have different love languages. And so there were times where it would feel like I love him so much, but he doesn't feel that. And like you would try, like sometimes it just frankly doesn't work, which is super upsetting. But I think communication is like, everyone says communication is key. That's like so oversaid, but not like actually comprehended enough. Yeah. Because there would be times where I would be like, I feel like I'm not understood here. And he'd be like, what do you mean? Like, I know I'm being understanding. Like, if there's one thing I know I am, it's empathetic. And I was like, I don't.
Real quote.
It is a real quote.
Wow.
Not said as kindly.
Oh.
But yeah, and so I think that there are times where like you have to adapt. Like in a healthy relationship, like there's that give and take in my experience and in my opinion. Like there are some things that like, you know what, like this isn't great for me. I'll leave this in the past for them. Or like they need this. How can I like change a little bit or like change my like habits, my practice to incorporate something that like my partner needs? And if that is like how you change how you show love, maybe that's it. Cause like I'm not someone who likes words of affirmation. I'm very much someone who's like, I will give you my time. I will like go out of my way to do things for you. But sometimes people just need to hear it straight to their face. So like there's things that like you have to kind of like, relationships are awkward and they're uncomfortable. So sometimes you have to change and do things that you're not used to doing to make sure other people feel loved and like they are equally respected and wanted in that relationship.
I agree. I do think that's something I've learned in my relationship is that, I don't know, I have learned about myself that I'm very non-communicative about, not even about if I'm feeling something, I will like let him know, but like I won't tell him like where I am, what I'm doing, like I'm late to everything, and he's like, can you please communicate when like things are going according to plan so I'm not just sitting here waiting? And I'm like, wow, yes, I can do that. Like, and you know, it just takes that reflection of like, okay, I'm not perfect in a relationship. And this is my first relationship, like serious relationship.
It is.
Yeah. So like there's things that you find out about yourself when you're in a relationship. And I'm like, and I don't ever want him to feel like I don't value his time or what he does for me. So it has been like adjusting, and I'm still not like perfect at it, but how I'm dealing with my life and also like having a life with him in it too. So, but I also feel really lucky. I've never questioned if I loved him more than he loved me. I think he's very good at making me feel loved, and I think, but yeah, I guess it just depends on how you feel loved. So like he always will tell me that, and he does small things for me. So I guess, yeah, it's important to know what makes your partner feel valued to have that happen for them.
Right, yeah. I would say it's definitely, everyone has different love languages, I feel like. But I think it's also like a lot of like, if you feel like it's super easygoing, like if you feel like the relationship and communicating is pretty effortless, then I feel like that's a good sign that like you guys have that like emotional connection and you have that like really strong communication to where like, I feel like it's okay even to over communicate things, because then you know like for sure how you feel and how the other person feels. So I think it just depends on that, and also like how much you're willing to give and take. Like you said, Lila, like, am I willing to give this much of my time or this much of this for this person? And does it feel like a chore? If it feels like a chore, like that one person said, what, headed nowhere, my GIF is broke and has no job, then
Yeah, it's wild.
they're probably not for you.
That's something, I mean, I just went through like a pretty big breakup like a couple months ago. So Ellie was there for the whole thing. God bless your soul. And I talked about this with my mom afterwards, because I was like, she has been through so much. I was like, she's just like, you know, your mom. You call your mom with anything. And she always said a relationship should be an addition to your life. Obviously, it's going to be uncomfortable, and there'll be moments that you grow, but like it should be adding to your life, not taking away. And going back to the one from earlier, if it ever feels like you're weighing, so like an analogy, a weighted blanket is nice. It helps you fall asleep at night. It makes you feel comforted. But so heavy that you're starting to suffocate, you need some self-preservation. Like that's when you like get out of there. Yeah, I think there's healthy boundaries to it all.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think there was something else that Anel was saying that kind of prompted me to say this for any of the guys watching. I think Justin might agree as well. Little things to girls are so big. I think that like sometimes you might sell it short, but I can tell you right now, you know, if you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, you know, maybe should I get or should I not get this, you know, little thing from wherever it is, CVS, this cute little whatever, do it. I'm telling you, especially if you really like the girl, do it. And I think that like that's something that like I used to hesitate with in like past relationships, and now it's like, okay, if something like made me think of her, you know, I could be at CVS for all I care, but it's like, oh, it's a little whatever. She goes to Tennessee. So if it's like an orange thing or like it has a tea, I'm always texting her, saying something, or like getting something for her, or taking a picture for her, or whatever it is. Like every time I see a Tennessee license plate in Ohio, I'm telling her that I see it. And just like little things like that. Well, you know, it's something that, you know, people might like joke or laugh about, but it's like, you know, when you say it to them, that matters to them. That's what really matters to like us.
Yeah. And
So.
I think it does make a difference too. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think like there's like this trend or like this generation now where like that kind of like actions some people think are corny, which I think is crazy. Like when guys do those like little small things for their girlfriend, or when they're just like very like obviously obsessed with their partner. I feel like that's a beautiful thing, and I think it's kind of sad that some people think that's corny when it's like, okay, like I may look like super cheesy to my guy friends right now, but it's like, who's really winning here? Like I'm in a healthy, loving relationship.
And I think that like as I've realized more and more how like good this relationship is, I think the less that I've cared about what my friends think. I think that like even like today, like I haven't technically officially launched her yet, so like we talked about the soft launching and all this. I've learned a lot in the last little while. But so like like today, I, like for Valentine's Day, I soft launched it, and one of my friends was like, "Oh, that was kind of a funny looking post, you know, this and that." And I'm like, "I know, thank you." I like, you know, just like kind of like brushing it off because it didn't bother me, but you know, he said it to me, so I was like, "Oh, yeah, fine, whatever, blah blah blah." And I think that like obviously it goes for girls too, like when it says like, you know, getting like cute little things for guys too, like especially if it's like something that they like. I think that like the little things definitely add up. So like I think that like no matter where you are, like in a relationship, status wise, I think that like especially the more and more you grow together, I think the more and more the little things matter too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, to me personally, I think the other big part of it is like I think relationships are also work. And if you're with someone that doesn't want to do the work or doesn't want to like you said, like it can be uncomfortable sometimes and you just kind of have to work through it and make those sacrifices. Otherwise, then it's like, well, obviously it shouldn't feel like a job, but there should still be some effort because it's not always going to be like, rainbows and sunshine and glitter. Like it's not always going to be like a honeymoon type of period. So that's definitely what I've learned in my last relationship is like putting in the work and just communicating really clearly about things because unfortunately things were not communicated clearly. I'll leave it at that.
I also think that something that also is kind of different too, for me at least, it's long distance. And I think that like that's part of the, like, I can't say like, well, it has, but like making us stronger. I think like time would have kind of done that anyways if we were together or long distance. But I think that like being long distance has given us challenges that have made us grow more, I think, in a shorter amount of time. I think that like we weren't 100% sure kind of on how it was going to go when we first went, long distance. But I think that like we have been very happy that we did. And I think, well, I know we are. But I know that like it's added challenges, like sometimes, you guys have talked about communication and whatnot. And I think obviously communication is different when you're long distance and you can't see each other for, 2-3 months at a time. So like having that difficulty is something else that like really can throw like a wrench into like, the little things. So that's like, again, like I said, I was like sending pictures and saying like every time I see that little stuff, because like, I might not be able to get her, whatever it is, drop it off at her house or whatever. But like just telling her and being as, talking to her, I try to talk to her as much as I can, obviously, but not to the point where it takes away from my life.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously, like, I want to talk to her all the time, but
Ellie just gave me a look about that. Because my last relationship was long distance. And, like, it's rough. It's a lot of work. But then when you're together, it's so amazing. It's like you see why, or not like you don't see it when you're long distance, but when you're in person, it's just, you see why you keep doing long distance.
the sacrifice became worth it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's always been worth it, but
Oh yeah, no, I know. Ellie looked at me though with the time comment about like you put in the work when you can, you text them when you can, as long as it's not taking away from like your time,
your social
in
life
your
and school.
and like where you are presently.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely made a face at that too, for sure.
Well, I could have clarified a little bit more, but I think like obviously like the time that you are able to, if you like
No, I
permitting.
think we're like agreeing with you. It's
Yeah,
like-
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
agreeing with you for sure. Like Lila said earlier, like I really like that comment about like relationships being an additive. Of course, again, like you don't want it to be a chore, but I understand for a lot of people, like you don't want it to be something that consumes like your day 24/7. You guys have your own friend groups and stuff, like you hang out with your own groups and you have your own priorities and that type of thing. So it's really just about like striking that balance and then communicating that you're striking that balance.
Like my last relationship was also long distance before this one. And I think the moment that I realized it was going bad was when I would start to get FaceTimes from them and I would audibly sigh because it took so much time because I knew whatever I was doing, I couldn't do it. Like even if it was something as simple as playing a video game on a Saturday night because I didn't want to go out. I just wanted to play video games. I just wanted to relax. And, I'd get a FaceTime and I'd be like, because I would have to stop because she wouldn't like when I would play video games. As wild as, hey, I don't know how girls, react to video games and
You're
everything.
giving us some trauma right here.
Sorry,
The
but I
girls in the
don't.
room.
I am not somebody who plays a lot of video games. I would say that it's maybe once a week. And so it's like, but when I do, that's when I want to just relax, not think about anything else, and just kind of relax. and I found myself like audibly sighing when I would get a call.
Yeah.
Because I knew that this would be an hour and a half of having to, I mean, talking to somebody is not bad, but it was just like I wanted to do other things, and I just couldn't say no.
And you fell a little bit out of love at that point, which is something I've definitely, correct me if I'm wrong, but something that I've learned is like, sometimes, like you said, I keep referencing Lila, but
No, you're good.
sometimes they're just like not right for you. And that really does suck. That it's good in the moment, but over time, I don't know, like some people just fall out of love.
And I think like for me, like it wasn't the fact that, it was like just like we'd been together for like a little bit over a year at that point, and it was just like I think that like I had finally realized, because it was like right when we went back to school, I think that I kind of realized that like this is taking so much time away from my friends, and it took time away from my summer that I will obviously never be able to get back. And I think that like it kind of all just snapped for me when I got back to school, because it wasn't long after I got back to school when I broke up with her, because I just realized that like it was so draining and it was taking away from my studies. My grades weren't where I wanted them to be, and I just kind of realized that everything was kind of crumbling. And as bad as this may sound, I didn't really feel that bad after the breakup. It was give me a week after, and the next weekend I was feeling fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like similar to me. There was this one night that had me really questioning it, because I was up late doing homework, and I was like, I got a FaceTime call, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I have this homework to do. I know I'm going to be up till like 2 a.m. doing my homework. And I answered the call, and I was like, hey, I am doing homework right now. I want to talk, but I do want to get my sleep and get this assignment done. I talked to him until 2 a.m. And then he was like, I'm sorry, you should get your sleep. And I was like, well, I can't. I still have homework to do. And stuff. Yeah, sorry. But like, even bringing up, like, I was scrutinized because I wasn't making time for him, but I was still going out with my friends. And I was like, that's my time. I live with my friends. We are all like, I like because our house is all very academically motivated. Our weeks, we're all like studying, doing homework all day. Like during the week, we are full-time students. And then on the weekend, that's my time to hang out with my friends. Yep. And like, that's like with you playing video games, that's like your 1 hour a week. That's your time.
Yep.
And it's okay to have your own time. Like, you need to be fully present with yourself to be present in a relationship.
And like, if your schedule doesn't perfectly line up with your, long distance partner who's, wherever they're at, it could be an hour difference too. Like that was another thing for us. Like if my schedule doesn't line up with yours, sometimes it's just unfortunate, and I can't talk to you like, all the time every day.
Yeah.
And I think that like, when you're overstepping these communication boundaries where it's like, okay, you're asking me who I'm going out with, and I never asked you once. Obviously, people could be different, but I think that like you were just very clearly agreeing with me, that I think that like the asking, who you're with, what, why aren't you responding, blah, 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 this and that. And like, obviously I want you to communicate with me when you're out, because I'm going to worry, but like, for me, it was very different. Like, there would be many nights where it's like, it would be a Thursday night, and I'm going to bed at, 11 our time, which is 10, where she went to school. And, I would say good night, blah, 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 and I wouldn't get a text until like 2:30 in the morning, my time, and it was just like, okay, well, that's a little weird, because if I go out, you're, blowing up my phone the entire time that I'm out, especially if you don't go out. If she's out and I'm out, fine, we communicated somewhat, but then it was like, oh, like, who's over at your house? Like, stuff like that. I mean, I wish I was kidding. Yeah.
It sounds like it was not built on trust.
I think it's important to have like realistic expectations of specifically long distance, of like what kind of time you can give to each other, which is something like I'm preparing for, because like I watched you in your relationship, and obviously and it made me worry, because I'm about to be long distance after graduation for like probably about 4 years. So I'm like, and I'm going to be a student. Like, I'm going to be in law school. So I'm like, I'm not going to be as accessible to you as I am now. And you need to be okay with that, because I'll choose law school. As much as I love you, like, I have to choose the thing I've been working towards.
100%.
And I'm lucky that he's like, I know, and I want you, and I want you to succeed, and I will support you. And it's maybe going to suck for a few years that I can't see you and talk to you all the time, but that's okay. And you should not feel like you have to be texting your significant other out at a bar. It's like, yeah, you have your own life, and that's important.
I think, like, again, for my kind of extreme example was she became friends with one of the girls that was in our, like, kind of friend group at school, which I had no problem with. But the example that brought that up was she, like, texted me, and she was like, why didn't you tell me that people were over at your house? And I am sitting upstairs in my room doing homework. I did not know that there were people in my house. So how is this my problem? But, like, that's kind of stuff, again, like, I think obviously, like, me with my girlfriend, like, she wants to be a nutritionist and this and that, and, like, it's already hard being long distance, and I'm kind of in an awkward situation where there's a very good chance that she's not home over the summer. She could be in, like, because we're from north of Chicago, it could either be, like, somewhere, staying in Tennessee, Knoxville. It could be going to Texas. It could be even going to Alaska is one of the opportunities. And obviously, like, part of me is very upset that, like, I might not be able to see her for 3 months after already being long distance. But I also, like, I'm very, like, I'm definitely learning and understanding and seeing more that, like, obviously she should pick her. I mean, I'm obviously never questioned that she should pick her career over a relationship, but I'm saying that because that's forever. I mean, obviously, I hope this relationship is forever too, but I'm saying that, like, picking that, like, obviously, like, is very important to her, and, like, I don't want to, like, have my, like, selfishness of wanting to see her over the summer take away from that.
I will say, to give a different perspective on that, because a lot of long distance talk is being talked right now.
Yes, sorry.
That's like what Ellie was saying. The exact more or less reason that we broke up was also the long distance thing of, like, okay, not gonna sacrifice, this going away for so long. And that's something I definitely learned how to deal with, because I don't think anyone ever wants to be, like, the clingy girlfriend, but I did like to know, like, what was going on and stuff like that, and not specifically, like, who's with you right now, where are you right now, that
there's
type
levels
of thing.
to it.
There's levels to it for sure. And that was, like, the main concern, I guess, was, like, the fear of being codependent, which I know, like, we have our own things going on, like, our relationship is supposed to be an additive and that type of thing. But a decision was made that long distance just doesn't seem like it's going to work out. And now I have all my time to myself to figure myself out and enjoy that space. You're looking at me.
Sorry, I'm just listening. Just, like, really zoned in.
You're really zoned in. I'm feeling the
Sorry.
pressure right now. And that's okay. And that's a decision, like, I've grown to, like, understand, because, like, I can't blame the person. Like, a ton of people I know are going through it right now with relationships. What is it? Leo's in retrograde or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, Mercury.
Mercury.
I don't think Mercury is.
Is it?
It was a while ago.
I don't know. That's the only retrograde I know.
Yeah.
I think Leo. You're shaking your head, right? But
I have no idea.
something
Don't
about
ask me anything.
something about Leo is, like, messing up all these relationships. But it's something that I had to learn, and I know that a lot of people are making that decision right now of, like, do we do long distance or not? How worth it is it? That type of thing. So,
I mean, you have to want to do long distance.
Yeah.
right.
It's a commitment for sure.
Yeah. Just to end on a beautiful, lovely note, my love language is gift giving. I'm a huge gift giving person. Ellie, I got you something.
Oh my God. I'm, like, scared. Why I don't know why.
No. I saw it and I thought of you, just like what Jerry says.
Just like what I was saying.
Like, take notes, guys. Like, be like a Nell.
I'm actually a great boyfriend.
I'm dating a Nell now. I'm sorry, Carter. Thank you. That's so sweet.
Yay. Thank you, guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, everyone here. Woo. Flyer News, the aerial view. Follow us on all our socials.